Well, it's about time. I hear the starlings. It means it's time to put my hay bales out. I'm going to show you how I grow tomatoes. And this is grow some of the best tomatoes you've ever seen. For us, they're tomatoes. For y'all up north, tomatoes. But either way, I can show you how to get it done and how to grow the best tomatoes that you've ever eaten in your life. And it all starts at the end of February when you hear the starlings coming through. And I'm pretty sure y'all can hear them in the background. Let's get started. Alright, this is my tomato garden. Very simple. A piece of sheet metal on the ground. That's to separate the bale from the ground, especially down here in the south, because we got a problem down here called fire ants. And fire ants love these daggone hay bales. So I put a sheet of metal on the ground and put my bales on top. And then when it starts warming up a little bit more, I'll come in here and I'll spray biffing on the ground all the way around the edge of that metal. That'll keep the fire ants out of my tomato garden. Now, like I said, the end of February, I just put these bales out a while ago. And y'all got to pardon my voice right now. I'm actually coming out of the COVID-19 experience. Is what it is. Oh well. I'm alive and kicking. No fear here. So I put the bales out at the end of February. The first thing I do is once I get them out, get them on the metal like I want, I soak them with water. And I mean soak them, because they have to be completely rotted by the time you plant. If you don't do that, then your plants will be killed by the heat that's inside of these bales. Sometimes it gets so hot in these bales, these things steam at night when it's cool night. But I will plant these the Saturday after Good Friday. Now, I'm planting them in sequence because we can grow tomatoes here all the way through October. So I'll start with one plant, and I'll wait 2 weeks, and I'll put another plant. 2 weeks, blah, blah, blah. And I will have fresh tomatoes from here all the way through the end of October and into September. Now, all we got to do is wait. Here we are. Today is Saturday after Good Friday. Today's the day we're going to plant these tomatoes. Maters, as we like to call them down here. Well, I have chickens, so I spread a little bit of chicken poop out there on top of my bales about a couple weeks ago, just to give them a little extra oomph. And I ended up with another property that we moved into, and I didn't leave them bales behind. They were getting, rotted out good and getting ready to plant, so I brought them with me. And it is one heck of a rainy day today, but that's perfect. What we're going to do is we're going to go out here. This is the Saturday after Good Friday. That's when we plant down here, down in South Carolina anyway. I don't know about any other states or any places like that, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant 2 plants today. I'm going to wait a week, then I'm going to plant 2 more plants. Then I'm going to wait another week and plant 2 more. What that's going to do is that's going to give me a good, strong supply of tomatoes all the way through October. Maybe even midway to November, we shall see. Some years you get them, some years you don't. We just see what the weather does. Now, you got to water these bales every single day. If you don't water them, and the best time to water them is early in the morning and late in the evening. They will dry out on you, especially in this sun. And another thing you got to think about when doing this, tomatoes need sun on a lot of it, but not just sun. They absolutely have to have morning sun. So if you're going to do this and plant tomatoes, and it doesn't matter if it's in bales or anything else, if you're planting tomatoes, they need to be where they're going to hit the sun just as soon as that sun gets across the trees and comes up. That sun needs to be hitting them tomatoes. In the evening time, if you lose a little bit of sun, that's fine, but it's got to have that morning sun. I personally, it's just a matter of taste. I like the Better Boy varieties. That's what I've always planted. That's what I like. Grow them big, have a big old one sliced tomato sandwich. That's what I like. So without further ado, we're gonna go out here and get our butts wet while we stick a couple of tomato plants in some bales. Here we go. We're gonna have some traffic noise in the background, but it's pretty simple. You just dig a hole in them wide enough and take the dirt and everything out of the pot, and you plant that tomato as deep as you can possibly get it, preferably all the way down past the first set of leaves off of it. Put the dirt and all in there. There we go. We got 2 plants planted. In a week we put 2 more. In another week we put 2 more. Have 6 plants total. That's all I need for my tomato eating. See you here in a few weeks. Here's a little another little snippet for my tomato garden. Needed a way to water them, so made this little high-tech watering device. Well, I'm all about not spending unnecessary money, so I just used stuff that I had. As you see, we got a piece of PVC pipe. That is a 1/2-inch pipe. I made a wooden cap end to end because I didn't have any caps and fittings here. Drilled some holes in it. Everywhere I'm going to plant, everywhere that there's going to be a plant, there's a hole. There's actually 6 holes. Well, what I did was I ran it up here. Now the holes on the other end are bigger than the holes on this end. I was trying to throttle the water pressure evenly across, but of course that ain't gonna work unless I put a T in the middle, and guess what? I didn't have a damn T to be found. So here we go. All it is pretty simple. I was gonna sacrifice that water hose anyway to make this thing. So instead of a coupling, I just used a little section of water hose, a couple of hose clamps, same deal there. Put a valve on here. And I made sure that I had it facing upward. There's a couple of reasons for that upward. One, I'm not driving water down into the bales and eroding the bales, because as they are right now, they're rotting on the inside. So if you hit them with hard pressure, you will cut a hole through them. Number 2, I can see where my water throttle is. And all I do is I get it set to where I want to. Get that valve set. And boom, all I got to do is go back to the spigot there next to the house and just cut it wide open, let it run for about 10 minutes, and that's all she needs. Do it every morning. Don't do it in the middle of the day because the water in the hose will be hot. Do it every morning. Before I go to work, I let it run for about 10-15 minutes, then I go to work. Well, cut it off first, then I go to work. And here it is this afternoon. I'm just letting it run right now to give you a demonstration. In the height of the summer, I will be running it twice a day, once in the morning, once in the evening. But there you go. Plow-man's solution to tomato irrigation. I'll at you later. Okay, here's the final step. We're getting ready to start growing. Got my plants in, minus 1 bell pepper. They gave me the wrong plant. I got to go back and get another bell pepper. Couldn't find any bell peppers when I planted the actual garden. Couldn't even find seeds, so we're gonna have to go get us 1 more plant to put in here. Alright, this stuff here, this is absolutely just crap that I had laying around, and I don't know how to operate this dang camera. Well, you need a good support, because if you're gonna plant tomatoes like this, you're gonna have a big plant. So if you let them roll and don't top them, you will get over 7 foot tall. I made this out of crap that I had laying around.
I did pick up a couple of pieces of wood last night at Lowe's, because that's your best source of the crappy lumber that you need for this kind of stuff. You don't want to use good lumber. Go to Lowe's and get some shitty stuff. Well, my camera don't have an angle for crap, does it? All it is stuff I had laying around, and I made it so I can take it apart. It's done with screws. I needed to build another one anyway. The one at the other place just wasn't worth the crap. It's gonna get tossed. But I also built it to where I can lay some bird netting over the sides of it too, because one thing about around here, we got a bunch of mockingbirds, and they will knock holes in your tomatoes. There ain't no doubt about it. This thing ain't the prettiest thing in the world. It didn't try to be. I didn't want to be pretty. I just wanted something to hold up the plants good, and that there is a plenty. Now all we got to do is wait to grow some tomatoes. Just one of them little things that maybe you won't think about it if you decide to do this, but you're gonna need a good one. I'll let y'all later. Well, we just about had a tomato catastrophe. Here it is, May. We've already got temperatures above 100 degrees. Didn't expect that quite this early in the year. I scorched my plants because I was at work and then didn't look at the news, so that's kind of my fault. Didn't check the weather. But here we go. I got single ply burlap strung up over it. That'll let some sun in, and it'll keep it from scorching any further than it already is. So bear that in mind, depending on where you live. If your tomatoes are going to be getting as much sun as mine do, and it gets above 100 degrees, you best protect them. If not, you're going to get this, and I think you can see those leaves right there, they're all messed up. Hoping I didn't damage them too bad. The plants don't look too bad, but we shall see. This is just something you got to do if you live in the South. Good old South Kakalaki sun. It's supposed to be like 103 degrees tomorrow, I believe. Then I think it's supposed to get on up to 104 before the end of the week, before it drops back down to about 96, 97, which is much better for tomatoes. Don't bother me none. I'm an old Southern boy. I can handle it. I can take the heat. Tell you what I can't take. I can't take no cold. Don't like that mess, not a bit. Well, holler at y'all later. Okay, here we go. There's my tomatoes. They're growing great. Finally, the sun scorching took a hell of a toll on them. Stunted one really bad, and then slowed the other ones down a good bit. I'm still got some curly leaves up top, but I'm getting tomatoes now, as you can see. Tomatoes ain't looking bad at all. Just coming off slow. This has been a tough year for tomatoes. We've had a lot of over 100 degree days so far, and summer's not over yet. So, in my opinion, this is the best way to grow tomatoes, as long as you keep your eye on them. And I dropped the ball on that when let those hot days sneak up on me. But hay bales, tomatoes, I got some bell peppers on the other end. They ain't doing too good either. They got scorched as well. But they're finally catching up. Things are finally starting to grow good. Little irrigation system and a good rack, you can grow some pretty tomatoes in a hay bale. Just stay on top of them. Don't drop the ball like I did, not paying attention to the weather. Well, I'm going to get those in the house, and I'm going to put them on some burgers this afternoon. Talk at you later. Bye-bye.